Sadu says, why didn't you tell him the local girl went
like
so
he
hard?
literally he came like I thought something was wrong because he came in the living room. He was like, Dad. I said, what? He said, yo, why you didn't tell me local girl went that hard? I said, what are you talking about? I said, yes, it goes hard. Like, why do people just think because we do music that it ain't dope?
Oh my gosh. Like I knew you could sing, but I didn't know it was like that, huh?
Yeah, from my own kids too.
From your own, I was just thinking that. I said from your own cheering, no less, though, bro.
That's the crazy part, though.
Oh my gosh, man.
Anyway, bro, we got so much to get into. Let's get this thing cracking.
Let's get this music on, bro. Because I got some questions.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Yep.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Yep.
Can you dig it, sucker?
I never get old, bro. It never gets old, bro. It never gets old.
Yeah. So what's cracking with you, bro?
Hey man, I got this is that epic week, man. I can go ahead and jump right on into it, bro.
Yo, get the people a rundown real quick. Let me take care of something real quick, bro.
I'm gonna tell you. So, a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna go ahead and start by saying that. So we got a couple things on the docket today. 21 questions because this week we always say it's an interesting week, but I think especially I got some questions that I need some answers from immediately. So I'm gonna need y'all to jump in these comments. Keep me honest. I need some answers. I need your perspective on these particular things. But hey, so this week was Tuesday. We met with Mika Reed, and she's also, like I said, if you didn't pay attention, she was the sister of James Scott Reed. He was a brother from Killeen that was unfortunately killed in another one of those no-knock warrants. We had her on, and I love that she was able to kind of articulate that, hey, listen, man, these things are dangerous. There's not as much benefit that goes into it with the risk that's actually taken into it. So we had her on Tuesday. Just wanted to tell y'all, man, thank y'all. And for everybody who chimed in on that particular day, anybody who shared that particular one, that particular episode, can't thank y'all enough. I think that it was definitely one of those episodes that was a lasting impression on that one. So absolutely. And I see Mika checking in already. So thank you, love. But I thought that was real dope, man. And so that's how the week got started. But because we were on and we was giving out that message, there were some things that was going on right then and there that we didn't get a chance to get into. And I need some answers, Ace Kennedy. I need them today.
All right, let's get it.
Listen, bro. One thing that we did not, wait a minute. Let me tell you the best thing that I've seen all week.
All right.
September 16th. Your boy's anniversary, though, man. Let me give him my own horn here. My own horn, man. September 16th, 14 years. And shout out to the research department over here, whipping up some sandwiches on over here. But yo, because it's on a Wednesday, man, we didn't get a chance to do that in the middle of the week with us doing distant learning. Usually I would have slid out and did something during the daytime while Landon is in school. Didn't get a chance to do it this time around, so we trying to get down and get out and about in the city, mask up, and see what's popping on Saturday, though, man. So excited about that, though, man. So
that's pretty cool, but that's
best thing.
That's kind of a weird transition into the first conversation.
That is a very one, but that was the best thing that I've seen this week. What you got? Best thing you've seen all week?
Oh man, best thing I've seen this week. this was not necessarily a great week. I'm just say Friday is the best thing that I've seen this week because I've been looking forward to today. Got some news out throughout the week that I can't really get into on the pod, but yeah. So the weekend's gonna be kind of interesting, but I can say I got a show tonight, so I'm excited about that. So Ace is gonna do his thing. I finally get to pull out the Ace Kennedy mask on them boys, so that's gonna be dope.
Let me turn my light down. I'm sitting here looking hella light skin over here. All right.
There you go.
Hey man, so listen, since we was on Tuesday, what we gonna get into, man? I saw today that they officially 45 officially announced the ban, execute the ban of TikTok effective in November. I find it interesting that the timing of it is right around election day.
That may be true, but there was an incident that happened on TikTok, which I can understand why some parents, because I know a lot of parents that went ahead and deleted the app. I hadn't even had a chance to talk to mine about it yet. There was, I believe, a young man or somebody that committed suicide on TikTok. Wow. And, you know, with TikTok, it's one of those things. It's that algorithm. It's like whatever the most popular thing is. So even though, so it was like shared and shared and shared and shared. So
right,
it was
right.
And so a lot, one of my friends personally, her little girl saw it. And so, like I said, I hadn't even had the chance to talk to mine about it yet. Even though, you know, my kids are a little bit older and we can have those conversations still. Right. You know, TikTok, it was an innocent thing that was used for people, for creators to do stuff. And so I understand, I understand exactly what you're saying about it being used for a political thing. But yeah, it was something, you know, pretty big that happened on that.
Yeah. That's crazy. No, I didn't hear that. And you know, Landon is all about some TikTok though, bro. That is his go-to app. So yeah, kind of. Nah, I didn't hear that though, man.
Yeah. Also seen that 45 was also announcing that they were going to have enough doses for everybody for the Budweiser virus vaccine in April.
So, hey, listen, man, who is going to get this thing? Like, listen, I mean,
there's going to be some people, the same people that was going to be trying to drink bleach. The thing is that, you know, the other thing, that's a good point, Mika. That is true. I just think that I don't think that was the main reason that 45 decided to ban TikTok. There are some other things. The real information behind the TikTok ban is this. So there's a bunch of top level people that have secrets that the government does not want to come out. And so that's one of the reasons. It's a very, very political reason. Can't really get into all the details.
So keep them off TikTok then. So you said because these few people within the government shouldn't have access to it. Everybody shouldn't.
Well, I'm just saying, bro, whenever something's in your backyard, then it becomes a big deal. And so the thing is that when that stuff was about to drop, that quickly came about. I have a friend of mine that's, you know, really, really got her ear to the streets that kind of, you know, tipped me off to that a while back. So it is one of those things. And so, you know, everything can kind of be tied into politics, but this one seems to a lot be going on with this particular subject. Yeah, the research is out there, but you know, we don't get into all of that. But just know that there is messaging behind that. But as far as your question about the vaccine, you know, they've been doing some trials, and there was an individual that had the vaccine that ended up having some adverse reactions to it, and they don't know whether it's because of the vaccine or if it's some underlying thing that happened because of it. But so they're still doing the testing. It's and that's the thing. It's one of those things that it's very, very early in the testing, and people are just trying to do what they think that they can in order to help get us back to some sort of normal, so that 2021 can get back to normalcy. But yeah, I'm still not taking it, man. I stopped taking flu vaccine as soon as I got out the military, bro.
You know what's funny? I actually considered doing the flu this time around. But then, you know, it's like nowadays though, right? I thought about it. I thought about doing it just because I kind of figured that you would be in this period where you don't know what the symptoms are necessarily for. So I think that so you don't know if is it flu or is it the eczema, right?
Right.
And so then I thought because of that, well, you take the flu shot, you know what I'm saying? Then in theory, that eliminates that, right? So then, but then I thought about it. I was just like, well, you know what? This year, especially with masking up and everything like that, I'm personally making an effort to be even more protected than I probably would have ever been pre this and even flu season. So I figured that I'm a slide with it.
The reason why I'm not is because even after, like I said, in the military, you were kind of made to get that stuff. It's one of those things, like a lot of times when you get the flu shot, and I'm not discouraging anybody from getting it, because you, again, do your own research, do whatever's going to make you feel safe. Even my brother, he's talking about getting it. I'm not talking him out of it. I'm just telling you what my feeling is on it. The thing is that just because you're getting that flu vaccine, it doesn't mean that you won't get the flu. Because there are different strands of flu. So the thing is that you might be getting flu type A as the vaccine, and then you end up getting, flu type B or whatever the case may be. And I'm just making up stuff so that you can get what I'm saying. But ultimately, it doesn't mean just because you get that vaccine that you're going to be safe from flu. But I understand if you want to feel safer,
Facts.
blocking, building your immune system up, by all means, do what you need to do. Get on your vitamin C.
Get that sea mouse going, bro. Hey, listen, Kanye been out here. He's no longer Jesus.
No,
he is Moses now, bro.
New Moses.
Listen, man. Is it an album coming out, bro? I know he said he's not going to release any music until Universal.
And he ain't releasing music until he feels comfortable. I understand what the messaging is.
Tell me what you get. Tell me what you're getting out of this Kanye talk.
I think that Kanye is just everything that he thinks he's just been tweeting here lately. Like, I think these are all conscious things that he's thinking about. Like, yes, he probably does want to own his masters. More and more, he's learning that ownership is the way to go. You know what I'm saying? And so the thing is that unfortunately, these are the contracts and things that he signed. I mean, as you saw, that he did leak his he
leaked contracts, right? Clauses of his contract.
Right.
And part of the thing that I was blown away by, right, is that you put, so part of the clause that got me the most was that after a certain number of years, you are able to then buy back your masters, right? For him. So it was something like in 2035, he would be eligible to buy back some of his masters.
He would get the masters all the way out unless he still owed money back to the company. If he owed money back to the company, then they could come up with a sum that he could buy the masters for.
So this is what I'm wondering. So this is what I'm saying. I saw recently, right, that Kanye West, they said, according to Forbes, he was a billionaire, right? Or worth $1 billion. That was his net worth. So my thing is that I'm not saying that you necessarily are sitting on $1 billion cash money, but you got to be sitting on something. So my thing is that why not just say, listen, I want to buy back my masters right now. What is the cost? Because here's the thing about it, right? Like, I understand that from a licensing perspective, right? There are things that you can do with the masters owning of a recording. So you got movies, you got all these other things, but what is it like? The masters sitting on the shelf ain't making nobody money. It just means that you don't own it. So I'm wondering why wouldn't a label, why wouldn't a major label say, okay, yeah, we do have the option for you to buy your masters. We do have you to completely. I know that that's not the way it's been standardly, and maybe that's what he is, kind of highlighting.
No,
but I am tripped out on the fact that
this is what it is.
Well, let me say this.
Yeah.
This is my thing about it. The reason why I'm very. I know that Kanye West, part of his contracts involves, like you said, the upfront costs for clearing samples. Like I was blown away when I was looking at the details, and they were talking about, how much he's given in advance. It's like $2-3 million just to cover any sample clearance, and because that's, you know, his music does that very heavily. And so I'm looking at that and I'm just sitting here thinking like, okay, well, I know that you're clearing samples, but for Kanye West, who also has, you know, if he does the majority of his production, that's going to say, I would imagine should cut some of your expenses. But bro, I'm blown away on the kinds of numbers that it takes for his budget, the advances that he's given, and then you got the recoups. But surely now it's Kanye, right? He's recouping whatever they give him. And that's what I'm just kind of wondering, like, why isn't he just walking in with the check and say, tell me what it cost him?
Because it's not, because from a business standpoint, that's not what the label's going to be doing. I mean, we had an example, like you said, Hitman or one of them also in the same predicament where they got number ones on the charts, this, that, and the other. And the label still is not trying to entertain buying back the masters. The reason why they give the clause for like 20 or 30 years later, because they're looking at that time, the majority of the time of that project, the lifespan of it is going to be expired by that time. So the only thing that would probably really re-kick that up is if, you know, lo and behold, an artist passed, or maybe a project is so hot in the future that then somebody wants to go back and listen to the older stuff. So for them, the lifespan of the project is probably done. So like you said, the residual is not going to be as huge. But you got to think though, like when Kanye wasn't signed, right? He was almost willing to do anything.
Willing to do whatever.
So the thing is Kanye has re-signed since the first contract. So I don't really feel bad for him, because he wouldn't be in this position that he's in financially now without that.
So ultimately, so that's what I get. Like when you say, oh, it's a slave deal, I'm like, really, bro? Like, you worth $1 billion, and to be honest, without that slave deal, you wouldn't be worth $1 billion. You wouldn't be Kanye that everybody else knows worldwide without you signing that deal. And I understand basically what you're signing. When you sign that kind of deal, it sounds like you're banking on yourself that you would have made the money Kanye is making, so that, yeah, you don't own the masters of your music. You still would get money if your stuff was used. But I think that you bank on that, saying, well, listen, I got these terms and these clauses here, and you sign it knowing that these are the chances, or this is what it takes for you to own your masters. But when you sign the kind of deal that it seemed like he put out there in his contract, it sounds like you signed that maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, knowingly and willingly. So you could have opted to not sign that kind of deal.
The other thing too is well, a lot of these artists got to understand, these companies are upfronting you, like you said, they're upfronting you money that you didn't have in order to get that project out. And the thing is that for the 1 million Kanye Wests that have tried to become Kanye West, not all of them did. So all of that money that they're fronting to these people who were supposed to blow, and if they don't, they're not getting that money back. So it's a business, man. Like, that's why it's called the music business. And it's,
you know what though, man, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, bro. You got, but I'm thinking about this in context, right? I would have to say, you would have to give me some kind of deal if I'm penning the Bel Air 2. Let's just use this for example, because, you know, we cooking, right? But I wrote every single word to the Bel Air 2. And I on top of me writing every single word, I've made every single beat to it. I've wrote every single word, even the R&B that's on it. And for me to not own that part, right? You would have to give me some kind of deal that I cannot turn down. And what I'm wondering is this: let's just say hypothetically, right? If a label approaches me and say, you know, all right, we're going to give you the Kanye West deal, where we're fronting you a $3 million, not part of one of his album wasn't even in advance. It was just almost like a bonus. It was flat out $3 million, right? So let's just say you got a $3 million, we're going to give you $3 million just to do the album. And on top of that, we're going to go ahead and cut you a $3 million budget so that if you need sampling, you need to pay producers or whatever. Now, mind you, that $3 million, if you're Kanye West, you're producing, most of your stuff is self-produced. So you're paying yourself along with any features and everything like that, right? So that means that in total, right, if I'm producing my own records, the Bel Air, this is $6 million that someone's giving me to do the Bel Air, 3 of which is my own. That's separate. I got it to record it. I'm just sitting here thinking, bro, Ace, I couldn't see you telling me not to sign that, bro. Like $3 million gets me and you squared away, right?
It does, but here's the thing, though. This is the part, right? So a lot of people now are looking for partnerships instead of just signing with labels, right?
True.
And a lot of first-time artists are getting 360 deals, which is a whole different thing. Before, with record sales, you were getting 7 cents a CD, right?
Yeah.
And then whatever you made on touring was yours outside of the cost of putting together the tour, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Well, 360 deal is they're getting some of that.
Everything.
They're getting some of everything. Some of your
get some of your show money, some of your publishing.
Because they're fronting you, they're giving you the money and putting you in front of an audience that you didn't have before. Facts. So the thing is that, yeah, it is with that's why a lot of the newer artists are doing things like, investing in time on TikTok, investing time on IG and Twitter and stuff like that, gaining followers and doing this, that, the other, so that they have something to bring to the table. Because if you have all the talent in the world, but no person to share that information with, the label has all the leverage. And so that's the thing, is when Kanye was doing his thing, he had a buzz, but he didn't have an audience. And there definitely wasn't social media like there was now.
Well, that's a good. So this is what's funny. Shout out to my mama checking in on here. She made a good point. That was something I was going to bring, because Russell Wilson went to whoever. It had to be Sony, Universal. Those are the main ones. And he bought back all of Sierra's masters for all of her, everything she has. She owns it now. And then, that's how she was able to start her own label. By now she has her ownership of her original music. But I think that surely, and now maybe I understand that Kanye West's catalog is much more expansive. It's going to cost more. He got more hits, and it's going to cost more than Sierra. But even still, my point is that surely, though, right, that there has to be a cost. Like there is a number.
The reason why I push back against that, not saying that there is not a number, but this is why I push back. Number one, it's Kanye West. That's number one. I mean, that's just being honest. Like, if you're talking about Sierra or Kanye West, which one is in the limelight the most right now? Sierra's not in the limelight for music anymore. Sierra's in the limelight because she's Russell Wilson's wife. Whereas Kanye West is still prominent, not only in the music scene, but in fashion. And I mean, pretty much
he moves the needle. He moves the needle. And then the catalogs, the extensiveness of the catalogs is different too. The other thing, the reason why I say that there's probably not a number right now is because record labels aren't making the money that they once made before. But if the masters are just sitting on the shelf, right? Because think about it, unless they're being used commercially, the ownership is just, it's the intellectual, right? It's just it's so like the streaming. So like, say if his old albums are on the streaming servers, so they're still getting that kickback. So what I'm saying is, as long as he keeps putting out newer music, other people might want to go and listen to his older catalog. So that Kanye is like, I ain't putting out no new music. Then y'all ain't gonna go ahead and listen.
There you go.
I get it, but yeah. I definitely like this. I do believe, like, what I'm immediately thinking about Drake on this one, because Drake had signed, he didn't sign OVO to Cash Money. He signed it to, I think it was like Motown or something like that or whatever. But I would be blown away, bro. Blown away. And now I'm almost thinking about the genius of Birdman then when it comes to this. If Birdman, because Birdman, Cash Money has that unique deal where they have like a 90-10, where they own 90% of the music. I think their distribution only owns 10. They do everything. So that means that almost all of Drake's mastering is owned by Cash Money. So all of them streams that so think about this though, right? think about if you see that if Drake has his own chartered plane, right? And Drake has all of these hits, and he's made all his money off of his music, right? Think about how much money Birdman has made off of him, though, bro. Think about how much money Birdman has made off of Wayne. Now that I'm thinking about that in terms of owning the masters, I'm thinking about how much money Birdman is sitting on. Like it literally probably is a gold mine, though, bro. I don't know, man. I think that it's
Mika, to answer your question, I do think right now it is a money thing. Just because, like I said, I understand your point as far as the ownership and not letting people want to own stuff, but I think this is a little bit different. Owning a team and owning the masters is a little bit different, only because Kanye wrote that material or paid the writers or whatever the case may be. That is his intellectual property. He just signed some of it away because of that particular situation. But when you got like the Good Boy Club that doesn't allow you to purchase a team, that is different, because there have been like minority groups that have gone in and tried to buy teams and been denied, and then you see another entity come and buy it. You know what I'm saying? Almost the same way what happened with the Clippers. And so the thing is that it is a little bit different, but I understand your point. But yes, it is much more of a money thing right now, because again, the record labels are not seeing that money like they are, which is
not like in the past.
No,
not
definitely not.
like in the
When
past.
streaming entered into the equation, because like as artists of me and Charles right now, we can write, record, mix and master a song, and I can put it on all streaming platforms tomorrow if I wanted to. Like,
and if listen, if today, if we put out the Bel Air 2, and the Bel Air 2 goes ahead and let's just say hypothetically, if it goes on to go diamond, old school diamond, it has 10 million, not just streams, but 10 million purchases of the album, right? 10 million purchases. The biggest difference is that right now we're not necessarily obligated to, we own the music, but not just that though. We getting 100%. Now I get that 10% of 100 million is more than 100% of 1,000 or whatever. But I think that it's all a crapshoot though, because it's always like you still are always betting on yourself, especially when you're independent. But the idea is that when that moment comes and you're ready for it, that the Bel Air drops and we 100 million on the Bel Air, that 100 million is going to look different from Travis Scott's 100 million
absolutely,
that he's generated, right? Exactly. Our 100 million will look different from Kanye's, because our 100 million is 50-50, of course, in the pocket, but it's a different, it's a different kind, which is why I was just bugged out that Drake, when his contract was originally over, that he would re-sign. I was amazed. I thought that he would have changed everything if he would have just said, nope, I'm just going to go independent. I'm big enough to where I don't need a label.
Well, Drake is also into loyalty too. And plus, the thing is too, there is some ownership changes within there too. Like percentages start to change. And that's the leverage you have once you start to do well.
Absolutely.
I mean, we can talk about this all podcast.
Yeah.
We got so much to get into.
Yeah. So listen, man, everybody ain't cutting out. I'm celebrating the anniversary, though. Everybody ain't cut out for this married life, homeboy.
Hey, that Zima virus getting everybody, bro.
Listen, man, I a lot of stuff going on. Some very sad news. We saw that the boy Ray J was already, going down the path of divorce. Cardi B also announced this is just, an hour before we did the Tuesday pod, bro, that the boy that Cardi B officially filed for divorce from the homie Offset from Migos, citing infidelities. So I got a question for you here, Ace Kennedy. Is this a matter of variety? Okay. I got some questions for you.
I know what you really want to ask. What you really want to ask is that WAP really that WAP?
Is it really that? Is it really that WAP, Ace? If he done slid out on it a couple times now,
Listen.
So if you got, this is my thing. What else? Listen, if the WAP won't keep you faithful, what will?
Here's the thing. I just think some people like variety. I just something just will not let me believe that Cardi ain't doing everything that she said that she would do. You can't, like, I'm not trying to say just because of her past. I'm not trying to, like, I just
Has something to do with it.
she strikes me as somebody that just, if she just wants to get down, she gets down. That's just the way I would take it. Like, you know, a lot of people look at artists and, you know, they look at rappers, they be like, oh, that he ain't really doing what he's saying he's doing in his rap. Something tells me Cardi's doing everything she's doing in her raps.
I'm gonna be honest with you, it would hurt my heart if I ever found out that Beyonce wasn't. But that's another story. That's another story. We talking about Cardi, because here's my questions for you,
Talking
Ace.
about that at the Beehive meeting.
Yes. Are we really surprised though?
No, I'm not. Like, here's the thing, man. I don't know Offset from anybody else, and I ain't definitely ain't trying to be all in
He's
another
28-ish. He's 28-ish, 29-ish.
Man, listen, he's in one of the top groups when it comes to music in the world. The dude is I mean, the thing is that we know regular dudes that have stuff on lock. So what makes me think with his celebrity that it's not being thrown at him? Like,
hey, he's 20. They've been married for 3 years. He
Yeah.
got married around the same time I did, same age, right? I'm just kind of wondering, like, is it really? Okay, this is my thing. Okay, here's where I'm going with this. I think that men, on some level, have some shallowness in them. Some can be very shallow. Some can be a little shallow. Some more than others. I tend to say myself that I'm more on the deeper end of shallow. I know myself enough to be able to admit that I can be very shallow when it comes to things like looks, when it comes to things like body, when it comes to all of these things. All right. So what I'm saying is that Cardi B is, still highly regarded as one of those. I don't know where you put her on I don't know that she's in anybody's top 10, but people kind of have her highly regarded up there, right? And so I'm just kind of wondering, like, well, what else are you getting then, though, bro? So that's another story. That's another, but, bro, here's what I'm wondering, Ace. I got some questions. I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got that ring.
Yeah. Should
she have cooked and cleaned?
Not necessarily.
That wouldn't have made a difference here.
No, because here's the thing. He knew what he was getting when he was with her. So that
he came on the flower. He came on the stage with flowers and said, "Hey, take me back, bro."
Right. Didn't he have a cake or something too?
No, he had a bouquet of flowers.
Okay.
At a concert. I guess that's what these new dudes are saying. He called the girls bro. Said, "Take me back, bro." Listen, Ace Kitty, I got questions. I need answers. Who is Cardi B off limits to now? Rap wise, who can't get with Cardi B right now, bro?
I know who is definitely on the list. I got a number one person on the list, but yeah,
she's practically off limits for everybody in Atlanta.
Anybody on QC.
If there's a lot of people, listen to the thing about it, man. As much as people would think, there are a lot of people, there are a lot of rappers in Atlanta, but it still is a very tight circle. Like right now, the only person who's kind of on the outs within the Atlanta rap circle really is Gucci Mane. And even then, they rock with some same people, but Gucci is the only one, and he's married. So with that said, that means that pretty much that Cardi B is off limits to everybody in Atlanta.
Is Waka still married?
Waka is back with his girl, yes. I think he's still married, yes.
All right. What about your boy Meet Me in the Club? It's going down. Young Ja.
Young Ja, I don't know.
Man, listen. I know who is
Lil Baby's Lil.
None of the babies can do it.
He's in part of that. He's in that.
Any any of the babies, the little baby, the baby,
babies, all the babies that she can't get with the babies.
no babies.
Does that limit? So let me ask you this though. Okay. With that said, who is a good fit, bro? I couldn't see him with Young Jock either, bro. But I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to.
I mean, I know he. Yeah, I was clowning.
Who is a good fit? Who do you see?
I got two.
Don't pull up on Cardi, bro.
I got two that's gonna pull up. Well, I don't know that's gonna pull up, but two that would be a good fit. One, I don't know if they're gonna be long term, but definitely a visit would be made to the game.
I see that. I see where you're going with that because the game isn't in that circle, right?
He wouldn't care if he would.
I don't know that he would care that much either, bro. I don't know that the game would care that much. I can see. Oh my! Look at this. He's supposed to have somebody. He doesn't have a baby on the way. Her people said that.
Don't have a baby on the way, mama.
Wiz Khalifa. We talked about Wiz Khalifa. Here's the thing about it. I can almost see, but then here's the thing. I kind of see Cardi B, Amber Rose, very much the same. There's a lot of overlap with those two, except that it wouldn't surprise me if Amber Rose actually rapped. If Amber Rose rapped, I think that it would be very much Cardi B. And from what I recall seeing is that he kind of slid out on her, for some twins or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. Like
Meek Mill, could you see Meek?
That would change the game. Because listen,
Meek Mill with Cardi B.
If Meek Mill got with Cardi B, bro, the blogs would blow up. Like,
bro, do you know what Nicki Minaj would be thinking, bro? Like, I know that she's moved on. I know that she has a baby on the way. She's married.
Her last name is Petty, but guess what? It would be.
Hey, yo,
what if she just went basketball? Like, why don't she just go out to Toronto and see that boy Serge?
You know what though, man? I like Serge, bro. I saw Serge do an interview where he was doing an interview in English, and then somebody asked him a question. He switched it to Spanish or switched it to French. I like Serge, bro.
Yeah.
I just think that you know what, man? It just seems like, I'm gonna be honest, bro. It seemed like NBA players, all of the NBA. I mean, there may be 600 players in the NBA. And they all seem to mess around with the same 25 females, though, bro. Like, they got a like, I saw something that one of the reasons why the boy Jimmy Buckets was getting out of there was some conflict in the Timberwolves organization was that he had messed around with Karl Anthony Towns' girl or ex-girl. And I'm just saying, like, there are plenty of women around, but there are a lot of like Paul George messing around, and he just so happened to be now Seth Curry is married to the same. Like, there are more women. Why are y'all messing with the same pool of women? So I think that Cardi is outside. It would make sense, right?
Like, I got the perfect one. This is somebody who I think status wise it would look great. It'd be one of those power couple moves. He's a little older, so he's probably got the whole phase out. She seems like she's like after she does her.
I got a question about that.
Okay, but let's just say, you know what? Hey, I got married because I was ready to be married, and so this is what it is, bro. I think the boy on the resurgence right now would look dope if my boy Jamie Foxx got with.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Listen.
Yes. And then if they put that fire song out, fool, hey.
Listen, bro. I let me ask you this though, bro. Is Cardi B gonna go through a whole phase?
Man.
Because listen, when she first got on, when she was by the time Bodak Yellow, I think that her and Offset was already like he had just scooped her right when she was getting ready to blow, right? And so her being the Cardi B that everybody knows on this level. She's never been single on this level, right? And so I'm just, dang, that is crazy though. That she's, listen, we're gonna get into that because I got something to say. But listen, so my question for you is that is Cardi B? Because listen, I know how these women do. Women will get divorced, and the first thing they want to do is hit the gym up. They want to lose about 20, 50 pounds, and then they want to go ahead and slide on out here. Why they didn't try to do this while they were still married is a whole different
they had the support, bro.
Listen, bro, that's in the book that we've been writing for 15, 20 years, by the way.
That's right.
But here's the thing, though, bro. I think Cardi done already bounced back from the baby, right? Mm-hmm. She's already in physically great shape, dope body. You saw the WAP video.
Yeah, the girl had the choreography on point.
I'm just wondering, like, if I'm Cardi, I think I can see Cardi going for me. Dog, what if Cardi pulls a Rihanna where she is with multiple guys publicly? Like, I don't think that anybody looks at Rihanna and says, yo, Rihanna out here hoeing though, bro. But she's been with a few people, and she's been with billionaires. She's been with white dudes, black dudes. She's been with.
Yeah, she was with your boy, Titanic boy,
Leonardo DiCaprio was at his crib. She has been around, and nobody's really looked at because she's completely single, and it's accepted. So I would imagine that Jamie Foxx, if he got that, because I thought that he was getting kind of serious with Katie Holmes, which that's a whole nother story, but I'm just kind of wondering by the time, if you say by the time Cardi's ready to be in another relationship, I think that she's going to go through that. I expect more close to nudity on her Instagram live. I expect for her to do the Layla, Lala, where you look at her pictures and you can look at them and they all look like they from Mello, like to show what's up. I expect nothing less than that from Cardi B, bro.
I know who did already been in her DMs, bro. James Harden.
Oh. Listen, Ace Kennedy.
What's up?
Listen, bro.
I got two youngins though that I'd suggest before we move on.
Who you got?
What about Michael B. Jordan?
I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. It's gonna sound crazy. I think that Michael B. Jordan is too much of the right thing for her to go there. I think that she has to get with somebody who's
a little hood.
Yeah.
All right, last one. What about another newcomer? Matter of fact, most people won't even know who he is, so I'm gonna have to explain it. What about John David Washington?
That would be a good look for him. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I would be like that. That wouldn't be bad, bro.
So for those who don't know who John David Washington is, that's Denzel Washington's son. He's in Tenet right now. He also is in for those of this that watch Ballers on HBO with The Rock, and also he was in Black Klansman. So look him
Ace
up.
Kennedy, is Jay-Z to blame for this?
Nah, I don't think so.
Listen, bro. Listen. Follow me where I'm going with this.
All right, I'm listening.
Jay-Z, listen, I think Jay-Z is the GOAT. He is my favorite rapper. I think he's the best rapper. And I told, shout out to the homeboy Scooter. I was on this podcast, the Piece of Man Son podcast. And I think Jay-Z is the GOAT, and it's not even close. But with that said, he slid out on Beyonce, and I kind of took that personal, bro. I still feel some kind of way knowing that Jay-Z slid out on Beyonce, almost broke up their family. You got my girl, you got Blue out here, you got Ass and I got questions. So my thing to you is this. If Jay-Z can slide out on Beyonce, when Beyonce was at her peak, at her finest, I think Beyonce is finer now than she did. I think she's glowing very well with age, if I say something. What can I say? I'm the security guard for the Beehive. But listen, Ace Kennedy, if Jay-Z will slide out on Beyonce, could we expect anything less?
Bro, there is no woman that is not above being cheated on.
if they say, well, that's what the WAP ain't gonna get you nothing if you ain't his piece. Can you be a man's piece and he still go out and get a piece of WAP?
Bro, I'm just saying, like, there's a lot. See, this is exactly why we needed our book right now, so that people would understand.
People saying, hey, it's all on my timeline. I've been seeing women say, oh, that's what you get for trying to show off this WAP. You should have been worried about being his piece.
Bro, we don't know the situation. We speculating.
I can only speculate.
Yeah, and I just think some people like variety. That's all I can say. I ain't trying to I ain't trying to say nothing about. I don't know Offset like that. So,
Ace Kennedy,
what up?
Could you see them getting back together, bro?
Nah.
You think they done?
It's done. It's done. Matter of fact, I think it's been done. I think when she was on she had a Breakfast Club interview probably about 2 months ago, like right before WAP was coming out. She had an interview. I think they were done then. I think she just wasn't telling it. But I do like she is still defending her family, meaning like she's not letting the media narrate what, the direction, like, oh, he has a baby on the way, or oh, she wants everything, because like her lawyer first put out that she wanted X, Y, and Z, and she was like, nah, I want this to be amicable, and I want to do it like this is the thing that I want. So
Ace, so you mean to tell me that you think that more than the WAP, some people just like variety, even if it ain't better than the WAP you already got at the crib?
We have wide circles, and so in our circles, I know people that just like variety. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that like their spouse could do, or partner could do anything that they want them to do, but it's not even about the person. I 100% agree with Kim. It's like, you can do all of that stuff. You could do everything that your partner's stuff want. It is. Now, there are instances where that's not the case, where there's some things that are not being fulfilled. And so when you're missing something, you go and replace it. That there can definitely be a situation where you're getting everything that you want and need, and you still just want more. Like, it is what it is. It's just people.
Listen, bro, what if Cardi B slid out on him? Would we look at this differently? Like right now, we're looking at him and we thinking like, oh, okay, you know what, man? They talking about his suggested infidelities, not necessarily that he got a kid, right? But what I'm wondering is that would you look at this differently if the rumors were that Cardi B slid out?
I don't even think we would hear about it, because I think he would probably take that one on the chin, bro.
Ooh, what, you think so? What?
Yeah, I think he would probably be like, man, I probably had it.
No, sir. Listen, in theory, right? If you've slid out there before and you took her and she took you back, then I can understand that in theory that if she did that, then then in theory you did it. So maybe you feel like I earned that one. I'm gonna go on here. But dog, I just don't understand. You can never, like, this is my thing. As a rapper, especially as a rapper, part of the thing that I think that's just interesting, and this is with respect to people who do soulful music. This is for respect to people who do more faith-based music. Shout out to Mantangi Johnson, though. Dropped the dope album, by the way. I'm going to tag, if you have it, I'm going to repost the name of his album. You can go check it out. Does not necessarily, I wouldn't listen to him and say he's dope. But anyway, respect to everybody who does all these genres of hip hop. What I am saying is, just generally speaking, as a rapper, there are a couple things that you typically see. But most of it, you talk about your prowess with the women. You get the honeys. And so my thing is that the narrative looks way different. And it's a bigger shot to your ego if Cardi B slides out. Because then, they always typically say that women slide out for emotional reasons, and then it may get to that. But I'm just sitting here thinking that if Cardi B slid out on him, it does make him look less than, when even though to Cardi, it may make her look a little foolish because he's done it before. You took him back, and this time it makes her look foolish, but her also look like she's learned. But if she cheated on him and this was the opposite, bro, I think that it makes him look so much smaller though, bro. It does worse to me. And maybe I'm biased because I'm a guy, but it makes the man in that scenario look so much less than, bro. I got questions. Am I bugging?
No, you're not bugging. I understand the whole rap thing and all of that too, but I'm just saying the fact that it happened first by him is the only thing that I'm not saying that it still ain't gonna hit him in his ego. Like, he's still gonna be talking about something.
Finish him.
But at the same time, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things, bro. But yo, I mean, we can spend a whole nother podcast on this. We got so much stuff to get into, bro.
Listen, last word on this. Do you think, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think that Cardi B is about to be even bigger. I think that she probably is going to, she's like this, because this is Cardi, no new album probably on the way, right?
Oh, and she talked about her last time.
Oh my God. I think that Cardi is about to be even bigger though, bro. Even bigger though.
And she got other deals in the works that she was talking about too. That like she got some movie roles. Cardi is a international business now, bro.
I think that she is only gonna be even bigger. Listen, let's switch topics right here because we're talking about people who got divorced. Dog, it blew my mind, right? I've always had a basket. This is kind of crazy. I think it's crazy that when I see I won't get into this, but here's where I'm going with this. One of my basketball crushes was Maya Moore, though, bro. I've always thought that, in basketball, there's a handful of WNBA players. I'm like, oh, that's a cute girl that's playing basketball that's also balling as well. Skylar. Who that?
Skylar Diggins.
Yeah, Skylar Diggins is one of them.
Tulsa too, so I used to go visit her. Like, yeah. Oh. Yeah,
Skylar Diggins. Maya Moore was one. She just kind of got these cheeks that make you just want to, whatever. But she hasn't played in WNBA in 2 years, bro. For the 2 years, she's basically taking time off because she was actually sitting here trying to get this cat out of jail. I think that they thought that he was wrongfully arrested. And they've been
heard about the story back when she was 18.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was 18 years old when her mom and dad introduced this story to her. So, yeah.
So I thought, bro, that it was crazy to me that I saw that she recently, the guy was Jonathan Irons, basically. And it's kind of wild, bro, that she spent 2 years, stepped away from the WNBA at her peak. I think they had just won a championship. She was a free agent or whatever, though, man, had money that was out there, though, man. And I was blown away, bro, that she ends up marrying the guy this past July that she helped get out of jail. Like, bro, if that's not love, bro, or destiny, I don't know what is, but I would have, if it wasn't my anniversary this week, that probably would have been the best thing that I've seen this week. But Doug, I thought that was incredible though, bro. I don't know. And in the climate where the boy Ray J, he said, no, I'm out of here. Cardi B said, no, I'm out of here. Maya Moore stepping up to the plate though, bro. I think that that's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think it just shows how invested she really was in this story because she said that, like I said, she found out about a story at 18 and the more and more she got to, dive into it, they became friends. And then, and she even was saying like, this was a God thing. Like she's excited about the fact of being able to start a new chapter with him. So you could just tell by the emotion of when he got out of jail, she dropped to her knees and was like, just faced that. Like she was ecstatic. So, you know, it's one of those things like I'm hoping that, man, this just continues to have a happy ending for them too.
Beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's real dope, man. And it, you know, just love seeing stuff like that, man. When the cards line up.
Hey, speaking of basketball, so Giannis wins MVP, officially announced today. He's the defensive player of the year. And then promptly unfollows his whole team, homeboy.
And he won MVP.
Won MVP and defensive player of the year. The only other times that's happened, Hakeem Olajuwon, the Dream, and Jordan. But bro, what we gonna do about Giannis unfollowing this team though, bro, after their departure from the playoffs?
Well, from what I understand, this isn't new. This is something that he typically does immediately after the season. Not that, even though it just looks funny this time, but it was funny because Ernie ended up doing an interview with him and asked him like, "Hey, you know, we understand you just got out of a 3-hour meeting with your team, with the owners of the team, and all of them, and so can you kind of give fans an idea of what's, you know, what, you know, are you gonna sign a long-term deal in Milwaukee or whatever?" And you know, immediately after the game, he was just like, "Listen, y'all can stop the rumors, like I'm re-signing. It is what it is." But the answer kind of changed. When Ernie asked him, he said, "Listen, I've been away from my family for 2 months, so I am spending time with family. After I get done with family, then we will start looking at contracts and determining whether or not we're going to do something long-term when it comes to Milwaukee, whatever the case may be." So, you know, he's just like, "Listen, I'm taking my time. I don't have a timetable of when I'm going to give anybody an answer. I'm in contact with the people that need to be in contact with, but right now I'm spending time with family." It's interesting to me because, you know, I understand this is one of those emotional losses, like you lose with a team, like you had the number 1 record in the entire league, and then you get put out the way that you did. And so it's one of those things like, you know, what do I really do? But at the same token, what scares me is because I went through something not me personally, but you know, the Oklahoma City Thunder went through something similar with KD, because when KD's first contract was available, it wasn't even a story. Like KD signed, it wasn't even a big deal. Like he had signed just a 5-year deal, whatever the case may be, right? But when that second contract came up, all of a sudden,
every year they were talking about it.
Yeah, well, it was just like, you know, what's he gonna do? And he started taking meetings, and then, you know, of course, when he made his decision, he ain't holler at Russ, like it, you know. So that is interesting to see those things, and of course, people just immediately look at like, oh, those are the signs that he's going somewhere else.
Well, so, it puts the organization in a weird position. I'd hate to see Milwaukee kind of get the KD treatment where you're sitting here and you don't know that he's going to resign, and then he leaves, and you sitting here just completely assed out where you didn't now let go a top 5 player, and now you get nothing in exchange for it. If you would have known that he was going to leave, you could have traded him. You could have done so many other things, though, man. And so that's where I think I hate to see that happen to Milwaukee, seeing that, you know, they're almost in a position exactly like Oklahoma City was, though, bro. Almost.
Let me ask you a question about that, though. If Giannis was to leave after this season and join Miami, is he the new KD?
Okay. There's a caveat to this. If Miami wins, no. I'm not. No, I don't think so. I'm gonna tell you the reason why. The reason why I don't think that he's the new KD is there's a couple of different things that make this different. For one, Miami would have to win the championship for that to qualify. But what disqualifies him from being the new KD is that his team was never up on him, right? Even though his team was expected to beat them, they never were. They was never close. That series wasn't even competitive. If they had the series, if they were winning the series, and then he loses and goes and join them, he would be exactly KD. Yes,
but even with the standpoint of if you can't beat them, join them.
That is a good point, bro. I don't. The reason why I don't think even if Miami won it, right? I don't see them as like a super team. I don't.
They're not. They're a team, and
Yeah. So I don't
like if he thinks that look, Milwaukee is not going to get me over the hump, and at this point, I've won the MVP twice for the league. I was defensive player of the year. I know that I still need to get better, but I also think I need a better team around me.
LeBron's not in the East. You don't have any reason now. You don't have any excuse to not win. And then in 2 years, LeBron's going to be out of the league then. So it's like, it really is now. You to me, listen, bro, the Warriors is going to be back, right? So it is like, and then you got next year, you got KD, Kyrie. KD's going to be back. So right. I don't know, man. I think that it's just going to be interesting, though. I think that if he doesn't, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. If he does not stay in Milwaukee, what he's going to start to look, he's going to start getting these Paul George questions, bro. The only difference is that he was the MVP. He should stay. I'm going to be honest with you. He should stay. And I think that, to be quite honest, he should. They have to figure out how to get somebody. They have to, right? Whoever it is. And the problem is that there's no one else available now. Not anybody who's going to be a difference maker. So I don't really see where the help is going to come from. Oh. And so then if you're him, you're thinking like, all right, well, because the help isn't on the horizon, am I just going to bail because, that's it? Because in the next year when he's a free agent, and that free agent, there's nobody who's a difference maker that's going to be available.
No, that's the thing. The big rumor out there is that Milwaukee is going to go after Chris Paul.
Yeah, but I get that though, man. But I'm gonna be honest. If LeBron is getting old, Chris Paul also getting old. Like,
yeah, but the difference though, right, is Chris Paul has already shifted his game. Like, Chris Paul's not driving the lane and doing it. Like, he's pulling up on people. And the thing is,
Paul enough to get them a championship. They got Chris Paul on this same team.
This is the difference, right? Because now the difference to me is because like Chris Middleton didn't really get hot until Giannis was hurting out. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I just think that having that consistent ball handler, of having him in there, because like you said, you called it in the beginning of the season. He didn't have any. Bledsoe didn't do nothing.
I'm trying to tell you that, bro.
Hill didn't do nothing.
I'm gonna be honest.
Didn't do nothing.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The Bucks did not lose to Miami because of Chris Middleton. They didn't lose because of Giannis. Giannis needs to do more. Like, that's going to be crazy because he needs to do more. Like, granted, he's the MVP. Granted, he's the defensive player of the year. I'm not talking about on defense. Giannis needs to do more on offense. When a team has made an adjustment, he's going to have to shoot, bro. And this is the thing about it, though, bro. There's nothing that having Chris Paul is going to do that's going to change the fact that Giannis can't shoot.
No. I get that. I'm not saying what I'm saying is I don't know that they necessarily would have beat Miami with the way Miami is playing. Heck, I don't even know if they would have beat Boston. You know what I'm saying? I do think that, like, again, something you said again, the regular season is different. When you get to the playoffs and you get to focus in on one person or on what they do best, you can attack that. So they did that. And so it is one of those things that, Giannis is looking real James Hardenish right now. You know what I'm saying? And so
was Paul George, by the way.
Listen, bro, you're gonna get off my boy P, bro.
Nah, because we about to get on Paul George, bro.
Before we do that, I do want to acknowledge your mom. She did this did just break. I did see this on my phone. So I did want to acknowledge that.
Ruth Ginsburg passed away. Yeah, she was trying. That boy 45 was trying to, he already have somebody up the sleeve that he was trying to get the replacer. But yeah, that's sad, bro.
Yes, it's sad. So I did want to pause for that. But yeah, Paul George, the Clippers.
What we gonna do about these Clippers, bro? Because let me tell you where I'm going with this. Listen, I try to tell people, and I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all that I'm the all-knowing when it comes to basketball. But what I can tell you is that I know what I know. And here's a couple things that I look at. When people was talking about Kawhi was the best player in the league, I'm thinking like, bro, listen, y'all are tripping. Because I get that Kawhi has won the rings, and everybody talks about, oh yeah, Kawhi Leonard is the franchise ender. He ended this and ended that. I'm thinking like, bruh, when he was with the Spurs, when you break everything down, Kawhi Leonard, everything that he did with the Spurs when they won the championship was the extra, because he wasn't the number one guy. He wasn't the number two guy. He was like the fourth person on that roster. Play good with no pressure on him to be the guy to do whatever. Then fast forward, right? He goes to Toronto and everything like that. And with all things considered, he goes through that, almost lost to Orlando, pull that on now. Beat Philly, all that stuff. Plays against the Warriors with Klay Thompson down in the championship game. Steph Curry, that's it. No full roster. And I give him the fact on the ring. So he goes out to LA, right? Calls your boy Paul George to come out there and be his number two guy, right?
That's not the conversation that they had, but go ahead.
Listen, Paul George slides on out here and says, yeah, man, I don't mind being your number two guy because I left the Pacers to go to
it's not the
Oklahoma City to be the number two guy. That is the case. You keep. It's not the what we gonna do about Kawhi? Well, okay, what we gonna do? Listen. Usually Paul George is soft-spoken. The reason why I'm really pointing this, because I told you during this playoff season, there were a few players who I thought were superstar players who I looked at and said, are they ready to be on that legendary stage? Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Paul George. There were a couple of other guys who I thought were right there. Anthony Davis is on there. And then we fool around and I'm seeing that Paul George is out here kikiing and cuckooing with the boy about going back and forth. And everything I told you that Dame Lillard said was right about him. When you hop in teams and everything like this, trying to skip the grind. But more than that, you hop in teams because you don't got the pressure of being the number one guy, because you couldn't handle that at the Pacers. And now these boys is going home after almost everybody picked him as a favorite. Is this is this the biggest choke job you've ever seen, though, bro?
Listen, I know everybody wants to put it on PG, but I'm putting it on Kawhi. But I know everybody was looking at them like,
wait a minute, who are you?
The way they got out there and was scrubbing. I mean, the thing is that for Kawhi to basically go Anthony Davis in the fourth quarter, and then it was just like, what happened? The whole team. I mean, Paul George was hitting the side of the backboard. Nobody could hit anything really. Like the Clippers was just, they were.
So we not gonna talk about Paul George doing what Paul George.
No, time out. Hold on. We going off of your logic here. You set the story up. So going off of your logic, if he's the number two, then it falls on the number one. Just like when Oklahoma went down to Golden State, they wasn't like Russell Westbrook. No, they said, KD, where was you at? Because he was supposed to be the number one. So what I'm saying is, people want to talk about Paul George, and I get it. I understand, because the reason why I came at Paul George, because I don't look at him as a number two. But realistically, in your logic and the way that you set it up, because the pressure wasn't on Paul George to be the next LeBron, it was Kawhi Leonard. They were comparing Kawhi Leonard to say, if Kawhi Leonard wins this third ring with a different team, he's going to be on the same level as LeBron and Kobe. That was the conversation.
Paul George was the original new LeBron. Paul George was supposed to be that in the Pacers.
Charles, listen to what
I can't let you slip. I can't.
Can I finish my stuff? The reason why that's the case is because they were touting Kawhi Leonard to be the best player in the world. Tell me I'm lying. Okay,
I agree with that.
KD is hurt, so he's not in the equation. So now you have the person that just won the Finals MVP and that just won the championship, and the first time that LeBron doesn't make it to the playoffs, for this dude who won with the Raptors, who also won with San Antonio and now is going to a different team, has built his own system of sitting out games and stuff, load management, everything. He was being touted as the next best player in the world and have this type of a performance. They weren't talking about Paul George right there. They was talking about Kawhi.
I'm going to tell you this. I agree with that, but I can tell you this, that Kawhi Leonard at least went out. I would say he didn't quite go out like I would expect Russ. Russ would have went out and shot 40 shots on a layup, and Kawhi didn't do that. But I'm not going to let you let Paul George off the hook that easy.
I don't know. Here's what I'm going. See, but that's what I'm saying. I didn't say that.
Because here's where I'm going with that. Because while I agree with you, the history was looking at Kawhi because of the pedigree and the rings. Paul George was one of the reasons why the Clippers were picked. I know that they had Kawhi, right? But Kawhi went there only with the understanding that you would get Paul George. And Paul George was part of the package that had them saying, the same people who were saying that Kawhi was the best player or whatever, was the same ones who was picking them to win it. But it was because of Paul George. Now, this is what I meant to tell you. Because when I was telling you before that every single time it mattered, Paul George had that one good series against Miami, and he was out there balling. And every other time when it was needed, he would not show up. He would do exactly what we was criticizing James Harden for doing. And that was the reason why I was looking for him to see what exactly is he going to go ahead and do different this time. Now, you ain't the number one guy. So you've clearly established that you can't handle that. You got some pressure now because before the pressure wasn't for you to win a ring. It is now. So that's what I'm looking at when I'm saying Paul George. So I agree with you that Kawhi, as someone who is the number one on the team, takes the boatload of the pressure because he played horribly. But it wasn't like Paul George scored 30 points in the loss. And not just that, though, Paul George just looked like trash the entire game. And you probably can say the same thing the entire series, bro.
No, here's the thing. Again, like I stated when I made my point, I'm not letting Paul George off the hook because I regard Paul George as not a number two. I said that. That was my statement. So my thing is that he is one of my favorite players. He's, like I said, he's in my category of some of my favorite players. So he didn't look good since he was in the bubble. He had stretches where he had certain games where he looked good and he looked like the old Paul George or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, he just did not play well in the bubble. And so the thing is that I do put a lot of blame on him because guess what? At the end of the day, this is his game 7 for him, just like it was for Kawhi. And he should have stepped up and did what he needed to do. He didn't hit shot.
You told me that Paul George wanted to leave Indiana because of his mom and them. I've been telling you that Paul George wanted to leave them for basketball reasons. And I told you that Paul George wanted to leave because when I'm looking at that, I think Paul George is looking around at his team and saying that, looking at the team and saying, listen, either the franchise isn't trying to put the right people around me, maybe the roster that I got, it isn't enough to get past LeBron. So I'm hightailing it on out of here. I've been telling you that. And you said, oh yeah, he was saying his mom, all of that stuff. It was an excuse, bro.
No, time out. You know what? It just hit me. Just hit me. So for over 20 years now, we've been having this long running thing about me telling you that I wasn't crying at the bowling alley, right? You have this elaborate story about 12 different people, the disciples all saw me crying.
I can make a phone call to verify this.
Come on. I'm just setting this up for my point. Now you're telling me that Paul George left a team for basketball reasons when he clearly explained why he left for his mom. Okay. So again, you have your side of the story. So we now have Paul George with that side of the story, and then you believe in that, and then me having my side of the story, and then you believe in that. You are starting to sound like those people that didn't believe Colin Kaepernick when he told them why he was kneeling. That's what you sound like right now. Because Colin Kaepernick clearly has said why he was kneeling, and people still believe that they trying to rope that into the flag thing. This, you not gonna tell me that this, what's up?
You got your what's your little thing you got when the girl says, "Oh, who do you think you are?"
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Who are you?
Who are you? Listen to this. I'm glad you said you fell for the trap. According to the Knuckleheads with Quinn Richardson and Darius Miles podcast, Paul George listed several grievances leading up to his 2017 departure from Indiana. The Pacers trading Danny Granger rather than helping him recover from the injury. The Pacers trading George Hill without informing him first. George appeared in some trade rumors himself, right? But then George said this was the final straw. Says, this is Paul George's words. You know how it goes. Cats like, yo, P, I want to play with you. I ain't going to say their names, but I'm just going to keep their business private. I'm just going to say it like this. I had at the time the best power forward saying he wanted to come to Indy and team up with me. They're like, we're a mid-major. We're a small market. We can't do that. We're a small market. We can't afford that. I'm like, the best power forward wants to come play here, and y'all can't make that work. They didn't want to do it. So I'm like, now I'm pissed. These is Paul George words, because it's like, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? They don't want to win. I've got the best power forward want to come here. Not everybody chooses to come to Indy. This dude wants to come with, and they didn't want to do it. Since after that phone call, I'm like, to my agent, they don't get it. I called my agent like, man, get me out of here. They don't want to win. It had nothing to do with his mom. I told you that was just something else, but it's basketball reasons. And here's the thing, though. When I'm looking at that, their idea is very, very true to all of these teams, right? It's the reason why I think that it's the reason why Oklahoma City felt like, oh yeah, we can't afford necessarily to keep James Harden on a max contract. We can't afford the three people on the max contract with all lower tier players wasn't even that big of a thing back in like it is now. But back then, those Pacers are thinking like, well, Anthony Davis had just signed some extended deal. He wasn't at the time. I mean, his deal was fresh, and he wasn't at the time in that position where he was trying to necessarily really get out of New Orleans because he had just signed his deal. And so the Pacers are saying, listen, he just signed his deal. We can't afford that deal after we just gave you your deal. So they had a roster, and they're thinking like, no, we think that you are the ingredient to put us over the top. You. And when you sit here telling me that, yeah, I know that he did a documentary about his mom and everything like that. But what I'm trying to tell you, bro, is that just like I thought, is that for basketball reasons, he felt like they wasn't putting together a team that he felt can beat the LeBrons, the big three that they put together. And maybe he's right, but you can't. But what they're saying is that we thought that you were enough. That's what I've been trying to tell you the whole time, bro.
Charles Venus. Are you telling me that when somebody does something that they can't do it for multiple reasons? Is that what you're telling me?
No.
I'll let you get your whole soliloquy out. I'm asking you a question. Can a person do something for more than one reason? Yes.
You can. Absolutely, you can.
So in this instance, right, with everything that you just said about the team not putting around him help to that he feels he can get to the next level. Okay. And then I have a mother who also has bad health. Well, now you know what? If I'm not going to be able to win here, and my mom can't even come to the games because of her health, let me move back to LA. So what's interesting to me, right, is you have all of this hate and anxiety going on for PG about his move for basketball reasons. But when King James does it, what's that about?
Here's the reason why. Because when King James does it, King James says that's exactly what it was. He didn't disguise it. He didn't do nothing at all.
I don't see it being a disguise from PG either. Because again, people can do things for multiple reasons.
I understand what you're saying, right? But that would almost be like, LeBron going to Miami and then says, hey, you know what? But for health reasons, you know what I'm saying? The air is a little bit more humid out there. So she, her breathe. No, listen, from a balling perspective, LeBron made the decision to go because when he looked at it, he thought that Cleveland would never be able to put anybody better than Mo Williams or Ilgauskas around him. So he felt like for basketball reasons, I'm going to go ahead and go. Now, sure, there were other reasons that you might be able to toss in to say, oh, well, from a marketing perspective, it will make him bigger or whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, LeBron James left Cleveland for basketball reasons. And my thing
because
is,
those were his main reasons.
No,
that's
listen,
the thing.
It's okay if Paul George says, it's okay if Paul George says, yeah, I just don't think that they ever going to be able to put somebody around me like that.
It is okay for that. But at the same time, when they asked that question, that wasn't his lead answer. Because to me, you can have mutually exclusive things that for reasons for him leaving. And here's the thing: at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I say. Paul George could be sitting in my spot right now, telling you exactly what I'm saying. It wouldn't make no difference because Charles Venus, once he believes something,
if Paul George told me that, and he said, "Nah, bro, I could." If Paul George told me I could not move my mom, she couldn't. She's not healthy enough to move to Indiana, something like that. But like, come on, bro. But here's the thing, though. But to me, when you say like LeBron, when you say I'm leaving for basketball reasons because I don't think that this team is going to put together a roster around me to win a championship, then you also have to say that knowing that the team can say, well, bro, we thought you was enough. We believed in you enough to be that dude to win the championship. So
just like Cleveland thought LeBron was enough. I get that. But what
exactly.
But even LeBron felt that I can't get it done with the roster you have around me. What I'm saying is this: most people are built outside of Golden State. Well, no, I can't even say that because they even fit in the category now. All teams are looking to defeat LeBron, period, because that's what it is. So the thing is that no, if I understand if Paul George is like, listen, I can't do this with Lance Stevenson. I can't. No, that's not gonna get me
honest. The thing that gets me about this is the reason why I'm harder on PG. It's because I like Paul George. It's not because I hate him. It's because I like him. And I think that Paul George is too good to be skipping around to try to win rings. Because guess what?
Around, bro. He got traded to Oklahoma City. That wasn't
asked to leave.
He asked to leave. He told the bro, I don't know why you keep doing this. He asked the team to leave. They traded him to Oklahoma City. He said he wanted to go to LA. You don't have any control. When you ask to leave, you don't have any control. He didn't have a no trade clause. So he don't get this. He doesn't get not to sign off like Melo did. It's different. So the thing is that when he asked to leave, they diverted him to Oklahoma City. The
reason why people were mad that KD left. It wasn't so much that he won the ring. It was that they felt that KD was taking the easiest route. People thought you're too good to take the easy route to
for who he went to, because he was up 3-1 to this team and left.
Right. So what I'm saying to you is that someone like me I don't look at Paul George and KD the same, but I also think you're too easy. You're too good to take the easy route. Whereas to me, so when you look at it, I thought that the Pacers team that Paul George had probably was better than any roster LeBron had around him ever in Cleveland. And I just think that, to me personally, when I look at PG as someone who I like I said, I like his game more than probably any other player in the league. But I look at that and I just think maybe was I wrong in my expectations for Paul George? Did I look at him for something, look at him more than what he actually is? And when you go and do this skipping around.
He didn't skip around. He went to
the
two different
ring.
teams. He
Come
went
on,
to
bro.
listen. He asked from the very beginning to go to LA. That's what he asked for. I want to go to LA. That's exactly what he said.
This
That's
is my
what he
thing.
said. So they
Paul George
traded
went to
him to
LA.
a different team.
Paul George went to LA this time, right? Because
That's where he
Kawhi
went
was there. No, but listen, he wasn't. Okay, listen. Here's what I personally believe. And you said when I believe something, ain't no chance. If Kawhi Leonard stays in Toronto, do you think Paul George tries to push to move his way out of Oklahoma City?
Hey, this is the part where I said again where you missed the boat, right? Because the reason they were looking to go elsewhere is because Oklahoma was tired of paying the luxury tax and they were going to trade Russell Westbrook and Paul George to the Raptors before they even knew what Kawhi was doing.
That's not what I'm asking.
It doesn't matter. But I'm answering your question. This is what I'm saying. Before Kawhi went to the Clippers, when he was still a Raptor, when nobody knew where he was going, Oklahoma City tried to trade Russell Westbrook and Paul George for Siakam. That's what they was trying to do because Oklahoma was tired of paying the luxury tax. They said, listen, we've paid in the luxury tax for 4 years now and only ended up in the first round of the playoffs. So once Russell found out his name was in the trade blocks, PG was like, okay, now Kawhi's like, listen, if y'all can get him to come to the Clippers after they found out about them trading them to the Raptors, that's where all the stuff came from. So
this is what I'm asking. This is what I'm asking. Let me ask you this way. Let me ask you this way. So Paul George comes to Oklahoma City and he signs a deal, 3-year deal or something like that, 4-year deals or whatever it was, right? So let's just say hypothetically, right? Kawhi Leonard stays in Toronto, and this is just hypothetically. He stays there. And Oklahoma City says, you know what? We got to either let go Paul George or Russell Westbrook. And they say, you know what? Russell Westbrook's contract is the biggest, and we can get from under this luxury tax faster by letting him go. They trade him, right? Do you think Paul George stays in Oklahoma City, or do you think he stays, or do you think that he then tries to still finagle his way to the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard there?
No, I don't. This is what I think would have happened. If that same scenario, that your hypothetical scenario, they would have traded Russ, Paul George would have then asked to go to the Lakers. Because this is the thing. At the end of the day, he wanted to go to LA. The only reason he stayed in Oklahoma City was because of Russell Westbrook. So if you then let Russell Westbrook go, no, this was not my destination. I was traded here. My destination is LA. That's where I'm trying to go. So if you guys just let go of Russell Westbrook, that tells me that you guys have given up on the franchise. Then I would like to go to LA, where the destination where I was trying to go. I'm letting y'all know, okay, I'm going to play out my contract, but I'm going to LA when it's over. That's what would have.
So you say that. So listen. So for me, right, this is where I'm going with that. I say that because you think about this, right? It's still like, I know that you still say he wants to get to LA, right? But it's also the easiest path to getting a ring is to go to LA with Kawhi there, or go to LA with LeBron already there. Or hell, for that matter, if Kawhi goes there and Paul George goes there, it's the easiest path to the ring. And
no, that's not it at all. Again, you act like Paul George wanted to go to Oklahoma City. That wasn't his destination.
He didn't have to resign.
He didn't have to. You're right. He didn't have to resign. He resigned because of Russell Westbrook, because he felt like they had something great. But here's the thing. Again, so if you take Russell Westbrook out of the equation, the reason that he wanted to stay in Oklahoma City, then why would I not want to go to the original destination, which I told the team to begin with? That's what I'm saying. If you're telling me, but before any of this stuff happened, when it was just Paul George in Indy, he said, I want to go. Tell them they need either trade me or do whatever they need to do, because at the end of the day, when I become a free agent, I am going to LA. That's what he said. That was his words. So all this other stuff that you keep saying, it doesn't, bro. He did not ask to go to Oklahoma City. He got traded there. So
He
again,
re-signed with Oklahoma City. He like this. Even though he built something with this is my thing. Even though he was building whatever with Russell, my thing is that this is my thing about it. If your mom's health is A1, the most important thing, like you say, then you make that decision. Then, when you were a free agent, you say, "Oh yeah, you know, my mom."
she got traded again.
No, when
Yes,
he
that
when
is
he went
true.
to Oklahoma, what I'm saying is that when he went to Oklahoma, and then when he was traded there, and before he re-signed with Oklahoma City, my thing is that before he re-signed with Oklahoma, he had the opportunity right then and there to go to LA if his mom's health was the number one thing. He had the opportunity. So don't tell me that he left. No, you had the opportunity to, just like you said, because if that was your number one reason for the health, it doesn't matter what you had with Russell. My mom's more important, right? That's my point. That's my point. So you did the easiest path.
Charles, like I said, it doesn't matter what I say. You're not going to believe me. Like I said, Paul George could be sitting right next to me. He could be sitting in this seat, and you wouldn't.
I'm about to contact the booking department. We're gonna get Paul George on here. He on vacation. He got time. Yeah. He can settle this right now.
Yeah. What's up with football, bro?
Hey man, I think that we got a Monday night game though, man. So I'm just casually watching here over the weekend though, man. So we Monday night. I'm pretty excited though, man. I was nervous at first when I watched us play against the Bucs at first because we were Bucs looked pretty strong. Tom Brady looked pretty straight for a couple of series though, man. But I was glad we pulled it out though, man. What y'all?
Until he started looking like Winston.
Oh my gosh, man. My only thing is that Michael Thomas is supposed to be out for a couple of weeks. We put him on IR, but I've been having my ear to the streets. They've been talking about the boy looking pretty good out there, though, man. So I'm pretty excited, though, man. I'm happy with what I'm seeing with my team so far, though, bro. What about you?
For me, I was happy we pulled it out. Wasn't necessarily happy that we had such a slow start. I still need Trubisky to get his act together. But I will take Mitchell Trubisky all year over Nick Foles. I don't care how bad Mitchell Trubisky plays. I'm not going to be lobbying for Nick Foles to come in the game. So
Nick Foles will do it if there's nothing on the line. If he has no pressure, Nick Foles will get it done, bro.
Listen, Nick Foles is a program guy. At the time that he played for the Eagles, that program, that system worked for him. It's a reason why he's been traded to so many different teams. It's not because he's that good that they keep trading him.
He's not bad. He's just not good. He's middle of the road. He's a good backup.
Now listen, who I was very impressed with is that boy from LSU, Burrows. I
saw that last night, man. And to be honest with you, not last night, but I saw that. Yeah, it was the last night. Yeah, I got to be honest with you, man. He looked more the part to me than Baker did.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can tell who has the better team around him. I'm saying, if you put Burrows.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. You know who I was very impressed with though? Kyler Murray, though, bro.
Yeah, but Kyler Murray been putting in that work too, and he's with somebody who believed in him from day one.
I know, but I think that the thing that got me is that for starters, though, man, I'm gonna be honest. You talking about Nick Foles being a system guy? I got to be quite honest with you, man. Coming from the Big 12, the Big 12 doesn't have the most illustrious history with quarterbacks coming out from spread offenses and doing a thing.
Look at the coach though came from Texas Tech. So
yeah, but I get that. I mean, so he's running the exact same offense. So you get it. But I guess what I'm just kind of wondering though, bro, is that when I look at that though, man, I'm very impressed that he is doing the same things that he did in college.
Because he has somebody who used to play against him and respected what he brought to it. He knew what he was getting when he brought him in. He wasn't trying to bring him in and be like, okay, no, you need to be a pocket passer. That's not where he was successful at. Like, he knows that. And by him being that young coach and the fact that they came from that same type of environment, that college environment, I think that's why they're
he looked little, bro. He looked smaller than I know that they talking about he's little. Yeah, they was talking like he's 6 foot tall. I was like, bruh, he looks shorter than Drew Brees, dog. And I'm
gonna send you a picture when we get off the pod, bro. I swear he about as tall as Deuce, bro.
He looked like he may be 5'8".
Yeah, he looked little.
And listen, when he get out the pod, this was crazy. I can't tell when he looked smaller. when he's in the pocket surrounded by bigger people, or when he gets out of the pockets and them little legs get to moving though, bro. He's
a beast, and he's actually a you know what I'm saying, he's a big dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he pretty big though, even for him to be that short.
Yeah, I'm excited though, man. So I think I'm gonna be checking for that for this weekend though, man. But I'm excited to get on out with the missus, man, and do the anniversary stuff that we got going on. I'm about to tell you about that Tenet whenever I watch that though, man. So yeah. Got a couple things going on this weekend. Probably be doing some video editing, man, and more prep for the Bel Air 2.
Yo, real quick before we go, what's up with them Longhorns, bro?
Oh man, the Horns. Listen, bro. I got to see us play against a more competitive team before I go ahead and see.
Hold on. The reason why I say that though, because you say that, but other teams in the Big 12 didn't do so hot against people that was lesser than them. So you know, it's one of those things. Like, we still got to be excited. Like, teams we're supposed to beat, we should beat them. And then the teams we should be struggling with somebody. We shouldn't. There's no reason we should be struggling with a team that we shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? We did what we were supposed to do. Exactly. And we even had our backups and stuff in the game. So I thought
yeah. No, I think that's dope, man. Like I said, I'm excited though, bro.
Yeah,
very excited.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, what did you got on deck for the weekend, man?
Like I told you, I got a show tonight, which as soon as I get off here, I gotta drop the girls off, come back, throw my mix together, and get on out of here. And then man, that's about it for me, brother. I'm playing the drums tomorrow too with somebody. So I got Slash. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. What about you? What you got going on?
No, that's about it for me, man. We had rain so much on. I think that for the most part, I think that we've had rain almost every day off and on this week though, man. So I think that I'm going to try to be outside as much as possible though, bro. So whatever, nothing in particular, but I definitely need to probably work on this album artwork, get that thing switched up. Oh my God. If somebody knows somebody who's good at Photoshop, please holler at the boy, because this Photoshop is kicking my tail, man. So
I need to holler at Brown, bro.
I might need to do that, man, because it's kicking my butt though. But that's it, bro. Man. Let me hear that music one time, homeboy. Let's get out of here. He is little, bro.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Get over here!